Let's talk about dystopian Coachella influencer moments this year. There's been a lot of buzz around the brand now and their presence at the festival. They offered this ultra-exclusive, reservation-only dining experience, and honestly, people were baffled. Like, really? A fine dining moment at Coachella? Influencer Adeline even posted a TikTok showing herself trying it out.
Here is everything that I ate at Nobu Coachella. They didn't have my favorite lychee martini, so I had to get this Heaven Sake. It was very sweet, so I give it a 5 out of 10. Starting off strong with the yellowtail jalapeno. It was super loud in there, but next up is the salmon sashimi. I don't expect anything less from Nobu. The fish is always super fresh, and I love the crunch. We were in the Red Bull Mirage, which is right across from the Kassar stage, so that's why they only served Red Bull. Edamame was nothing special, that's why I put 5 out of 10. I was watching my chef make the sushi. This is the first year that Nobu is at Coachella. There's lots of sushi places you could go to, but the ambiance. The other sushi vendors, you basically have to buy it and eat it on the ground. If you're lucky, you might be able to get a table. Sashimi, I give 8.5 because it was super fresh, which I feel like you wouldn't expect considering you're in the desert. The spicy tuna cut roll, I thought was good, but it's just so much rice. I personally wouldn't order it again. And then the baked crab hand roll, I loved. I think I'm just a crab girl. I love anything with crab or lobster in it. You have 15 minutes to eat everything. That's how long your reservation is. And saving the best for last, you cannot go to Nobu without grabbing the rock shrimp tempura. 10,000 out of 10. A million out of 10. You cannot forget to eat and drink your water when you're at a festival. So this was such a nice intermission between sets. But I don't know, would you try it?
And of course, we have to talk about the influencer drama. Because what's Coachella Weekend 1 without a little mess? Let's get into the whole Guest Jeans compound situation. This one had the internet talking. So, Guest invited a bunch of influencers and content creators to their Coachella compound this year. The whole vibe was supposed to be exclusive, stylish, and totally on brand. Everyone was decked out head to toe in Guest gear. Makes sense, right? But online, people weren't exactly impressed. A lot of the reactions were like, wait, what's the point of this? Sure, the setup was nice and the influencers looked great, but viewers felt kind of disconnected. Watching creators get the full luxury treatment while promoting clothes that didn't really spark any excitement, it just wasn't making people want to rush out and shop the brand.
Guys, I'm back at Coachella with Guest Jeans, so I'm going to give you guys a house tour. This is one of my favorite times of the year to go with Guest Jeans. They always make it such an enjoyable experience. Okay, now for the house tour. This house is so unbelievably insane. I can't believe I get to stay here for the weekend. Starting off with the living room, they pay such close attention to detail. Everything is branded Guest. We have our very own bartender and chef, so whenever we get hungry, they always are making us meals. I am staying in this house with a few different people, including my friends Tori and Skylar, who I went with last year. Guest is so good with providing necessities we might need for the weekend, so they set up all of these products that I'm so excited to try and use. All of my selects from the new Guest Jeans collection was set up perfectly in my closet along with some other things. I have been waiting since I picked these outfits out to wear them. They are so cute. I'm so excited to show you guys. I am so thankful to be here with Guest Jeans, and I can't wait to show you guys what an amazing weekend we have. I forgot to show the backyard in this video, so here's me running to the backyard to show you guys. You'll find me here just laying out in the shade, not the sun, because I don't tan, but I will be.
Some people said they totally understood why influencers would say yes to an invite like this. Free clothes, VIP access, all that. But when it came to the brand's strategy, not everyone was sold. The whole thing kind of missed the mark.
I cannot think of a single effing person who will go out and buy Guest Jeans after seeing all the content that is produced at this Coachella weekend with Guest. Not being a hater, but this is very much like 2016 Kardashian era marketing, and I can't help but feel like with the economic state of the world right now, we're moving out of this. You need to move with the times. Like, we don't want to see this. This is not going to make your ideal customer want to shop with you. It's actually going to make them hate you, and they're not going to support. I'm also starting to feel like, dare I say, showcasing wealth has now become tacky, because I mean, even the rich in terms of like fashion and style, they're finding ways to not show their wealth as much because they know that the economy is going to take a turn, and even while they're up, everyone else is down. So it just looks classless when you are just doing.
The brand offered to fly you to Coachella, pay for your ticket, put you up in this nice villa on the condition that you have to wear their clothes for the entire weekend, and let's just say their clothes are not the cutest. Would you still do it? In my opinion, one of the fun parts about going to Coachella is getting to pick and plan your outfits. But you know, a lot of these influencers who get flown out to Coachella and everything by these brands, oftentimes they have to wear their brand's clothes. You know, they're posting outfits in the brand, they're showing off their clothes. That is kind of how the brand is making the money back, by the influencers promoting their clothes and everything. And a lot of these times, I'm gonna admit, these sponsored outfits aren't the best. I feel like it's pretty easy to tell which outfits are are put together by people who like didn't have an obligation to post about what they're wearing or anything, versus people who did because they are sponsored to go. And normally, from what I've seen, it's usually the people who wear these, you know, sponsored outfits that they didn't choose that end up being clowned. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not always the case with these outfits, but from what I've seen, a lot of the times that is what's happening.
All right, let's talk about Post Malone's Coachella set. Honestly, I didn't hate it. I actually kind of enjoyed it, mostly because he did perform some of his classic hits. Sure, they had that country twist he's been leaning into lately, but still, they were there. To be real, when Posty was announced as a headliner, I wasn't expecting much from his old catalog. I figured he'd go full country, since he's been in his country Posty era for a while now. It really felt like he had left his old sound behind, but he surprised us. It was like he tried to strike a balance, giving us a taste of his current vibe, while still throwing it back to the hits that made us love him in the first place. Of course, not everyone was feeling it. Some people were like, if this is the version of Post I got, I'd be so disappointed. And then there was the whole Thee Stallion situation. Her set was scheduled right before Post's, but it ended up getting cut short. Fans were stunned when her mic suddenly cut out mid-performance. Turns out, it was so the crew could prep for Post Malone's set and keep the festival on schedule. People were seriously upset that Megan didn't get the chance to properly close out her set. The energy was high, and then just like that, it was gone. So, Earl had a moment at Coachella. She didn't hold back when it came to calling out the crowd, and honestly, it's a sentiment a lot of people have been echoing. In one of her Get Ready With Me videos, she shared what went down during Lady Gaga's set.
I got into a little altercation last night at Lady Gaga. Basically, we got there and it was so packed and no one was dancing, so I was like jumping up and down, and there was this woman behind me and she kind of like yelled at me. I don't know if she said like, you realize there's other people here, right? Or like, I don't know, she said something to me. I snapped a little bit. It was like a big owl came out, got a little crazy, and I was like, I'm trying to have fun. And then Braxton, and then this lady's friend like comes up. So then Braxton's standing in between me and these like ladies, and we had beef like the whole night. But then they left like 10 minutes later. So I was like, well, clearly didn't care that much about Lady Gaga.
It felt like some people were more focused on being annoyed than enjoying the music. It's like they showed up just to kill the vibe. And yeah, those buzzkills definitely stood out. And honestly, it feels like this festival has become its own drama series. From ticket prices, to what's happening on the grounds, to the brand events that are technically outside the festival, it's all just a lot. And this was just weekend 1. Weekend 2 is usually more chill, with fewer influencers and more of the real Coachella vibe. But hey, you never know what might happen. Definitely want to hear what you think about all this. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are we over the influencer era at festivals? Or is this just the beginning of something even wilder?